Well, part of what you struggle up against is a kind of mass opinion that machinimas like cartoons, and cartoons are about what? They're about the Roadrunner. They're about
Mm.
Popeye. They're about Bugs Bunny. And what are all those about? It's all about slapstick. It's all
Yeah.
about people getting slapped around and knocked around and kicked around, and that's all funny. And so that's when people come to see cartoons. It's all about talking animals too, and sentimentality.
Right.
So when people come to that, that's kind of what they expect to see, because that's the American tradition of animation.
But
Well, in
this
other
is
countries, you don't have that at all.
right.
They're,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
In Japan, this is why I like Japanese anime. Some of it's
Me too.
a little bit fast service heavy with some of the sexual stuff, but some of it is really, really good. And it's just
Yeah.
not Naruto and One Piece, but there's Kaleido Star about this woman being a gymnast. There's Bebop. There's Afro Samurai for mature adults.
Absolutely.
It's hard to say Pokemon, but that
Yeah.
this is some good stuff. It's okay if it's cartoons because adults make cartoons. It's not always about entertaining kids. There's been some great stuff for adults. Problem is, like you said, the American perception of it is so, messed up.
Narrow.
So
It's
much-
narrow.
It's pigeonholed.
Yeah, it's pigeonholed. I wrote a long essay, God, 4 or 5 years ago now, about why aren't machinima filmmakers using anime as a source for their films. Now, when I say as a source, part of what you do as an artist is you borrow things from other styles. You know what I mean? Say, for
Right.
example, you love Hong Kong action films, so you take the way they tell their story and maybe some shots, some camera angles, you put it into your film. It's like you're borrowing to learn how to make new stuff. Well,
Like you
when
want
was
to
the
make
last
your own.
right, exactly. So when was the last time you saw a machinima that used anime style camera work?
I can't think of anything.
None.
At all.
Yeah.
And
Not
yet,
at all.
tell me when was the last great anime you saw that didn't have fantastic camera work in it?
Right.
It
Right.
always has great camera work in it, and yet you go to a movie store, you never see, and you could use that camera that way. You never see a moving camera like that.
I just think that people need to be inspired more. To be a balance between passionate and being aggressive, it needs to be a little bit more inspiration and artful stuff. When you look at PK's work, you can tell that he's passionate, but apparently no one wants to pay attention to it because they feel like whatever the hell the reason is. I still don't understand why PK it doesn't have a lot more stuff, not more subscribers than me now. I still say this.
Well,
but
I think the issue, one of the issues, and I don't know, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but as a filmmaker myself, I don't do it for any type of money or anything like that, but one of the things that I think is pretty commonly known is that comments and feedback are currency. And I think one of the things that I'm noticing is that the comments and feedback are beginning to dwindle with each production that comes out, unless you're really popular. But I'm noticing newer studios, newer filmmakers getting their hands into like Movie Storm or iClone, trying stuff out, being creative, and whether or not the film was good or not many people, very few, the loyalists, or hardly anybody will give them feedback. And I think when somebody, and I could be wrong, I think when somebody makes something, I never really cared about how many people viewed it, but I've always cared about how many people have left their comment on it. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, is that tangible? Is that like something that you think is, is that?
That makes a lot of sense. It does help a person.
I mean, even if somebody says I didn't like it because of this and this and this,
Right.
at least you walk away knowing that they watched it, they gave their opinion on it, and
Right.
and that's your currency. That's them paying you. That's your payment.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I mean, obviously for me, I always make a film that I enjoy watching, but you know, I think it's so rewarding to know when somebody's watched it and to get their feedback on it. So
Definitely.
Communities vary too, you know. I mean, I've been spending a lot of time recently in the movie zoo community because I'm working on a project that uses movie zoo. And the community there is European based, tends to be a lot sort of British and Scottish because the base of the company is Scottish. And they're extremely supportive. I mean, there isn't even the really bad ones that come on, people leave several comments there. You know, it's a very alive community, which is one of the reasons why I'm there.
Oh wow.
Well, maybe a point is too is that, I mean, as far as I know, MovieStorm's relatively new compared to other softwares, and maybe it's because it is something new. It's something fresh. It's something, you know, that it's there, and so there's that activity that's going on, and maybe it's just where I'm hanging out, the activity's dwindling severely. So I don't know. Interesting.
It's hard to say, really. You know, some of it has to do with the fact that, like I said, 'cause some communities are really active and some aren't, and that probably goes in cycles as well.
Definitely.
Sometimes organizations, groups that are around, say, iClone, may be at a lower ebb than other groups. It's why I try to do a lot of work with people that I know, you know, people that I've worked with and people that I know I share my work with them. I also try to do, one of the things that I've been doing for the last several years is produce Machinima. We just finished our third Machinima Expo this last year, and we had, my God, quadruple the amount of people come and see it. And we had somewhere in the neighborhood of 120 Machinima films that showed there. So that's another way of promoting good films, letting people know that, hey, Machinima isn't all about, as you guys call it, frat humor. It isn't all about slapstick stuff, you know. There's a variety of things, and it's happening not just here, but all over the world as well. Do you know for the expo, we had more entries. I think we had, America was the highest amount of entries. Canada was second.